Welcome back to Only Talk Sports, and today we have a video previewing the Pac-12 conference. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. So today we got the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is not going to be the Pac-12 much longer. USC and UCLA going to join the Big Ten, but for 2 more years you're still going to have the Pac-12, and let's break down what I think these teams are their records are going to be this year. Team number 1, we got Arizona. I got Arizona going 3-9. This is Jedd Fisch's second season at head coach. He went 1-11 last year. Arizona's been a train wreck ever since Kevin Sumlin. They started to fall apart. They weren't doing as good. They fired him. They brought Jedd Fisch along. He went 1-11, as I said. They're trying to get better. They're trying to improve. They brought in Jayden de Laura at quarterback from Washington State. I think he's pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see, though, what they do this year. If they improve on that 1-11 record, which I got them going 3-9. I got them losing at San Diego State, losing to Mississippi State, lost at Cal, lost to Oregon, lost at Washington, lost to USC, lost at Utah, lost at UCLA, and lost against Arizona State. So an improvement year for them, but I think that they're still going to struggle. Arizona State, I got going 6-6. Herm Edwards at head coach. You know, they got all that scandals going on with the whole they brought players on during the virus when they were supposed to not do it, and they brought them on anyway. So they've been kind of struggling a little bit. A lot of players exiting out. Jaden Daniels, quarterback, transferring away to LSU. They brought in Emory Jones, though, from Florida, and he's a pretty decent quarterback, but I just don't see a lot of other great players on their team. I got them losing at Oklahoma State, losing to Utah, losing at USC, losing at Washington State, losing to Washington, and losing at Stanford. Next, we have Cal at 5-7. California Golden Bears. Justin Wilcox is in his fourth or fifth season right now. He's about got a 500 record. He really needs to win more this year, but I just don't see it. They brought in Jack Plummer from Purdue at quarterback, and he's a pretty decent quarterback, but he's not elite. I don't think Cal is going to be a great team this year. They might push for a bowl, but I got them going 5-7 with losses at Notre Dame, losses at Washington State, lost to Washington, lost to Oregon, lost at USC, lost at Oregon State, and lost to UCLA. Colorado is up next. I got them going 3-9. Carl Durrell in his third season. He had a good year in his first year, going 4-2. But then they were 4-8 last year. I see more of the same. Brendan Lewis at quarterback, he was fair last year. They don't really have another quarterback that's going to push him for the job. And I think they're going to go 3-9 with losses to UCLA, lost at Arizona, lost to Cal, lost at Arizona State, lost at Oregon State, lost to Oregon, lost at USC, lost at Washington, and lost against Utah. Up next, we have Oregon. Dan Lanning in his first year as head coach, coming in from Georgia, defensive coordinator. He brought in Bo Nix from Auburn at transfer quarterback. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. They already have a good team. They had a good team last year. I only have them losing to Georgia, Utah, and at Oregon State. And it's crazy as well that I would have them winning the North Division, but they have the divisions are no longer in existence in the Pac-12. They've obliterated the divisions. There are no divisions, so Oregon normally would have won the Pac-12 North, but now it's going to be interesting to see if they are the second best team, and then they're going to play the winner, the best team or whatever, or if they're the best team. Next, I got Oregon State at 6-6. Jonathan Smith, he's a great coach. Oregon State has not been good in a long time, since the early 2000s when they went 11-1. They have not been a good football team, but he has made them respectable. I think they're going to take a little bit of a step back and go 6-6 instead of 7-5. Chance Nolan at quarterback, he was pretty good, but he got hurt last year, but he's back. I got them losing at Fresno State, USC, at Utah, at Arizona State, at Washington, at Stanford. Next, we have Stanford at 6-6. And you got David Shaw, and he really needs to win. I mean, he was, one of the top 10 coaches in the country. People respect him. He followed up real good on their previous coach, Jim Harbaugh, and he did really good, but they're really struggling the last few years. They have not had a good season in 4 years. Tanner McKee at quarterback, a lot of people think he's an NFL talent, but he's got to improve that accuracy. I got them losing at Notre Dame, USC, at Washington, at Oregon, at Utah, at Cal, and against BYU. Next, we have UCLA. Chip Kelly, Chip Kelly was elite at Oregon. They had great teams. Marcus Mariota, they made the playoff. But they've been struggling lately under him at UCLA since he came back from the Philadelphia Eagles. But UCLA was better last year, and I think they're going to have a pretty good year as well this year. Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback, he's pretty good. He's improved every single year. He's got to improve his accuracy, but he can run the football and he can throw. Zach Charbonnet, running back from Michigan, transfer. He's been elite for them as well. I got them losing at Oregon, against Stanford, at Arizona State, and against USC. Next, we have USC at 9-3, and Lincoln Riley has been like exactly what USC needed. They've been off the map for years. Clay Helton was not getting it done. He was going 8-4, and then he had the 5-7 season and 8-4. And that's just not enough at USC. They want more because USC is an elite program, and again, that's why they're going to the Big Ten. He brought in Jordan Addison from Pitt at wide receiver, and obviously he brought in Caleb Williams, who followed him from Oklahoma at his previous stop. And that's going to be a tandem at offense. The defense has some question marks, but their offense is going to be elite. And I got them losing at Utah, lost to Notre Dame, and lost to Washington State. And next we got Washington at 8-4. Kalen DeBoer, he was a head coach at Fresno State, offensive coordinator at Indiana before that. He did really good at Fresno State. I think he's going to turn Washington around as long as Michael Penix Jr. stays healthy, transfer quarterback from Indiana. If he stays healthy, I think Washington's going to have a great season because they do have a great defense. Their defense was good last year, but their offense was terrible. I got them losing to Michigan State, loss at UCLA, loss at Oregon, and a loss at Washington State. Next, we have Utah at 10-2. I got Utah going 10-2. Kyle Whittingham, he's been the longest tenured head coach besides Kirk Ferentz at Iowa in college football. He's been a great coach, very consistent, winning a lot of games, but lately they've been a step above that, and they've been doing even better. They got Cameron Rising at quarterback that replaced Charlie Brewer, who went to Liberty, and he took the job in week 3, and they took off, man. They won every single game that he played. I think they're going to have a great season. I only have them losing at UCLA and losing at Florida. And last, we have Washington State. Jake Dickert coming in at head coach. He was the intern last year when Nick Rolovich got fired. And he did pretty good. He kept Washington State afloat. At quarterback, they got brought in Cameron Ward from Incarnate Word, which is kind of funny how the Ward and Word is about the same. But he was really good at the FCS level. It's going to be very interesting to see if he can translate that over to the FBS level. But if he can, I think they're going to be pretty decent. I got them going 6-6. Lost at Wisconsin, lost to Oregon, lost at Oregon State, lost to Utah, lost at Stanford, and lost at Arizona. So I got Utah winning the Pac-12. I think they're going to win the league barely over USC and Oregon. I would probably say I think it's going to be Utah against Oregon, because if Utah plays USC and they have that tiebreaker and Utah wins, then I think Utah will play Oregon, and Utah's going to beat Oregon in the Pac-12 championship games. It's going to be a great season for Utah, but I think they're going to fall just short of the college football playoff. The Pac-12, you have to go 11-1 at the least to make the playoff, and I think really you have to go undefeated because the conference is 2 weeks. So Utah's going to have a great season. I think they're going to win the Pac-12, but they're going to fall just short of a college football playoff. Comment down below what you think that these teams are going to do and who's going to win the Pac-12, and if I got my picks correct. Like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you next time.